Loneliness does not come from having no people around, but from being unable to communicate the things that seem important to oneself. These words from Carl Jung cut straight to the kind of loneliness most people never talk about, the kind that lingers even when you're not physically alone. Have you ever been in a room full of people, even people you love, and still felt like no one sees you? No one really hears what you're trying to say beneath the small talk. It's not that you're too complicated. It's not that you're broken. Sometimes, and this is hard to admit, it's because you're starting to wake up. You're beginning to see the world and yourself more clearly, while others around you are still asleep. That gap between you and them, that silence that follows when you try to open up, it's not your failure. It's a sign you've outgrown something. Maybe your environment, maybe a version of yourself, maybe the role you've been playing to feel accepted. Jung called this the beginning of individuation, the sacred path of becoming who you truly are. But that path can feel brutally lonely. You start to realize that not everyone is ready to meet the real you, and not everyone should. This video isn't just about that feeling of being misunderstood. It's about why it happens, what it really means, and how to carry your depth without drowning in isolation. This is what Carl Jung had to say about the misunderstood self, and what it truly means when no one seems to get you. Have you ever felt this way? Like your inner world is too much for the surface-level noise around you? If so, drop a comment and share your story. You're not alone, and someone out there might need to read what you've been through just to feel seen. And if this kind of deep, honest content resonates with you, go ahead and subscribe. Here, we don't just give advice. We explore the raw, uncomfortable, beautiful process of waking up to who you really are. Let's dive in. Why you feel misunderstood. The Jungian perspective. Loneliness, at its deepest, has nothing to do with how many people surround you. It has everything to do with the kind of connection, or lack thereof, that you experience when you try to share who you truly are. Carl Jung understood this on a profound level. He wrote, "Loneliness does not come from having no people around, but from being unable to communicate the things that seem important to oneself." In other words, it's not the absence of others that makes us feel isolated. It's the inability to show them what lives inside us. And the more you begin to see your own inner world clearly, your thoughts, your wounds, your truths, the harder it becomes to explain that world to others who are only familiar with the surface. You might find yourself speaking from a deeper place, only to be met with confusion, silence, or even rejection. That pain isn't proof that something's wrong with you. It's a sign that you're beginning to grow. According to Jung, we all develop a kind of social mask called the persona, a face we wear to belong, to be accepted, to survive. We learn early how to play roles: the good daughter, the reliable friend, the quiet one, the strong one, the one who never complains. These masks help us navigate the world, but they are not who we truly are. As we mature emotionally and spiritually, something shifts. The mask starts to feel heavy, false, limiting. You begin to sense that there's more to you than what people see. And you're right. The problem is, others still respond to your old mask. They still relate to the version of you that kept the peace, that didn't speak up, that laughed on cue and stayed quiet when it mattered most. So, when you finally start to remove that mask, when you speak differently, question things, set boundaries, or show your pain, people often pull away. They don't know how to meet the real you because they never saw her, and this is where the loneliness deepens. Jung believed that this stage is not a failure, it's the beginning of something sacred, the journey of individuation. It's the process of becoming the self, the authentic being beneath the conditioning, the trauma, the expectations. But here's the truth. As you walk this path, you will outgrow certain dynamics. You'll find it harder to make small talk, harder to pretend you're okay, harder to stay in places where your depth is too much. This doesn't mean you're becoming too sensitive or too intense. It means you're becoming real. And realness has a cost. As your awareness expands, the gap between you and those who haven't begun their inner work gets wider. You might find that some people can no longer understand you, not because they don't care, but because they're not ready to go where you're going, and that's okay. It hurts, yes, but it's part of the transformation. Real connection only happens when two people are willing to take off the mask, when both have done some level of inner work, when both can meet in truth, not performance. Until then, much of what you say will be lost in translation, but that doesn't mean you should stop speaking from the heart. If anything, Jung encourages us to keep going, to keep peeling back the layers, to keep becoming, even if it means walking alone for a while. Because the reward isn't just being understood, it's becoming whole. And once you're whole, the right people will find you. Not your mask, not your persona, but yourself. That's when connection becomes real. Not loud, not dramatic, just quietly real. How to deal with feeling deeply alone. When you feel deeply alone, like no one truly understands you, the first thing you must do is stop treating that feeling as a flaw. It's not a problem to be solved. It's a message to be understood. Carl Jung believed that this kind of isolation is often a byproduct of awakening, not of dysfunction. You feel this way not because you're broken, but because you're becoming more real. You're shedding layers of conditioning, social roles, and superficial connections. And with that comes an inevitable distance from those who still live behind their masks. The loneliness you feel is not a punishment. It's a signpost. It's telling you that your inner world is expanding, even if the outer world hasn't caught up yet. And in moments like these, you must protect your emotional energy. You don't owe everyone an explanation. Jung would say, don't dilute your truth just to be accepted. Don't beg to be understood by those who haven't even tried to meet you. Save your words for people who listen with more than just their ears, people who hear with their hearts. And if you can't find those people nearby, seek them in books, in ideas, in the voices of those walking a similar path across the world. Connect with content that sees you. Reflect with thinkers who speak your inner language. Build your tribe, even if it begins with just you. Jung reminds us that the wound is where the light enters, and this pain you're feeling, it isn't trying to destroy you. It's trying to initiate you into a deeper self, a more conscious life, a more aligned way of being. Let your loneliness be your teacher. Let it carve space in you, not for despair, but for depth. The truth is, not everyone will understand your evolution, and that's okay. You're not here to be understood by everyone. You're here to understand yourself. The more you walk this path, the more you realize being deeply alone is often the beginning of becoming deeply authentic. And the ones who are meant to walk with you, they will recognize you, not because you explain yourself perfectly, but because you remind them of something true within themselves. That's the power of real connection. And it begins when you stop fearing your own depth. In the end, what you're feeling isn't failure, it's evolution. You're not too much. You're just ahead of your time, emotionally, spiritually, and psychologically. The loneliness that weighs on your chest is not a sign that something is wrong with you. It's a sign that something deep within you is waking up. As Carl Jung said, the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. And that journey, the journey of becoming, often begins with feeling misunderstood. But maybe that's the point. If no one understands you, maybe it's because you're finally understanding yourself. So don't rush to fix the discomfort. Sit with it. Listen to it. Let it shape you. Because out of that quiet ache for something more comes your most authentic self. Have you ever felt like a stranger in your own life? Like you're living behind glass, seen but not known? Let's talk about it in the comments. Your story matters, and someone out there might need to hear exactly what you've lived through. Healing doesn't always begin with answers. Sometimes it begins with being seen. And if this kind of deep, emotional truth speaks to your soul, don't forget to subscribe. This is a space for real growth, real awareness, and the kind of conversations that make us whole again. You're not alone. Not here.